Every data point in e-commerce proves the same thing. Founder-led brands scale faster, have dramatically lower acquisition costs, and command higher margins. Having an online presence is no longer optional. It is a mathematical requirement for survival. But here's the friction. You run an actual company. You are an operator. The thought of logging your day, jumping on trends, or acting like a lifestyle influencer completely exhausts you. You need the leverage of a personal brand, but you refuse to play the internet popularity game. And today I'm going to show you the exact framework to get the massive trust, the authority, and the scale of a founder-led brand without ever acting like a content creator. We call it the Ghost Operator ad. Now, for context, I'm Peter Pistabocs and I run Ads and Leads. And the fastest way to slash your acquisition cost is putting a real human at the front of your brand. Faceless corporate logos lose to real people every single time. But the mistake everyone makes is thinking that a human means an entertainer. And it simply doesn't. You can get all the conversion, the power, the trust and the scale of a founder-led brand without ever memorizing a script or looking into a lens. And here's the reality. If you hide behind your logo just because you simply hate being on camera, the market assumes you are just another white label dropshipper. You pay a massive penalty in ad cost because you have to buy the trust the hard way. Faceless brands bleed cash. But the fix is entirely mechanical. Stop trying to perform and start documenting. You put the camera in the corner of your office and hit record, and you do your actual job. This could be reviewing inventory, mapping out the supply chain, or tearing down a competitor's product on your desk. Think of it like an open kitchen at a high-end steakhouse. The head chef isn't out in the dining room juggling knives or doing magic tricks for the guests. He's in the back, head down, and sweating over the grill. But simply because you can see him working, you trust the meal unconditionally. We call this the proof of work content. You don't ask for authority. You prove it by letting the market watch you put in the reps. You instantly shift your status from just a salesman to a high-level builder. But there is a catch. Raw footage of you working is silent and it's boring. And boring ads die in the feed. So how do you hijack their attention and force them to stop scrolling if you aren't waving your hands or talking into a camera? And that's where the visual engine comes in. You have the raw footage, but a silent clip of a founder just analyzing spreadsheets will get skipped every single time in just a fraction of a second. You have to hijack their attention and you have to do it without making intense eye contact or using any cheap gimmicks. If your ad doesn't force an immediate physical pause, your budget is being lit on fire. The human brain is wired to filter out the passive and boring background noise. And to shatter that filter, we use what I like to call the Kinetic Typography engine. You take that raw, unfiltered B-roll footage of you working and you slap a giant aggressive text dead center on the screen. Just think about driving down the highway. A yellow and bright hazard sign doesn't need a guy standing next to it waving his arms. The sheer size and contrast of that bold text forces your brain to read the warning. It's involuntarily. When you plaster a heavy, controversial hook across the screen in a giant font, the viewer's brain has no choice but to stop and read the sentence. Massive text eliminates the need for a talking head. The font itself becomes the eye contact. You forcefully dictate their attention, buying the exact 5 seconds of compliance you need to let the pitch sink in. But holding their eyes is only half of the equation. If you want to actually convert a cold skeptic into a high-ticket buyer, the audio layer has to do the heavy lifting. And the second you sound like you are reading a script, the actual sale is dead. The visuals we just built is going to stop the scroll. But the audio is what builds the conviction required to actually close a high-ticket buyer. And here's a trap. You get their attention with the visual engine, but then you layer a perfectly polished corporate voiceover on top of it. The second you sound like you are reading a script, the prospect's defenses goes up. They realize it's an ad and they mentally opt out. Perfect corporate audio kills conversion because it feels like a pitch. The solution is the hot mic method. Forget the expensive studio microphone. Grab your phone, open a voice note and break down your product's core mechanism. Exactly like you are setting a confused employee straight, or like you are dropping a hard truth to a business partner over on a Zoom call. It cannot sound like a commercial. It needs to feel like a leaked internal briefing. Think about a leaked halftime speech from a championship coach. You lean in because it wasn't meant for you. It's raw and it's unfiltered. Now, when you strip away the studio polish, you strip away the sales resistance. People hate being pitched, but they absolutely obsessed with eavesdropping on experts. You sound undeniably authoritative, entirely focused on the core mechanics of your business, and it pulls them seamlessly into the final conversion point. So, here's the absolute bottom line. When you combine the raw proof of work B-roll, the Kinetic visual engine, and the hot mic audio protocol, what do you actually get? Well, you get the ghost operator ad. You get the absolute highest level of market trust, a massive algorithmic scale, and radically lower acquisition costs. And you get all of this without ever having to point a camera at your face, memorize a script, or pretend to be an internet personality. You get all the leverage of a massive personal brand by completely refusing to play the influencer game. Just imagine never having to shoot another cringeworthy social media video just to keep your pipeline full. Just imagine running your company head down while your paid ads pull in the high-ticket buyers on autopilot because your creative finally matches the quality of your product. At Ads and Leads, we don't just log into your ad manager and pull levers. We install this exact ghost operator creative engine directly into your ad account. We aggressively manage the media buying so you can scale your daily spend without destroying your profit margins. So, if you are tired of bleeding cash on paid ads that nobody watches and you are ready to scale your traffic with a system that actually converts, feel free to click the link in the description and book a call with my team and me. And we will look under the hood of your campaigns, search for the bottleneck in your ROAS, and map out how we will actually scale your brand. Every single day you hide behind a corporate logo or just simply run a polished commercial, you are paying a massive unnecessary tax to Zuckerberg. Stop burning budget on ads that actually look like ads. Click the link below, book a call, and let's get your ROAS where they should be.